No Helmets Required is the story of streetwise sports promoter Mike Dimitro. Mike wanted to turn his impossible dream of kick-starting rugby league in the US into reality by assembling a young team of American football stars. And then with next to no preparation, sending them out to face the very best in the game, the professional club teams of Australia.
Mike Dimitro was an amazing character. He'd come from total poverty in the mines of Virginia. He was a real fighter. He changed his name 3 times, he had 5 wives, he moved cities and states every other year, he was in court a lot, and basically he kept reinventing himself.
Dimitro was convinced that rugby league, with its furious combat style and innate sense of chivalry, would massively appeal to a great American public already blooded on these notions through their love affair with gridiron football. Most of his recruits had never played rugby, and none of them had even heard of rugby league. And when they found out Dimitro's scheme involved an Australian tour, it looked as if they needed a miracle. Yet the results would stun everyone.
The New South Wales Rugby League wanted it to be a success, so they did pair the All-Stars up with South Sydney. The first training session, they were being taught by Clive Churchill, the best player in the world, how to play the ball. If they'd known that they were going to be playing the best teams in the world every 3 days, I'm sure most of them wouldn't have gone.
No Helmets Required is probably the most highly charged sports drama that has never been told on film. Not just for the match action, but because of the controversies surrounding Dimitro himself and his constant clashes with everyone around him, including the press, the police, and his own star players. But it's an emotional story as well, a tale of immense human drive in the face of overwhelming odds. And it's true, every word. The tour would be plagued by illness, injury, legal entanglements and constant conflict amongst Dimitro and the players. And yet it would produce some exhilarating football. Playing their early games in gridiron kits minus helmets, they were as naive and unprepared for the challenge ahead as they looked. Some regarded the tour as a holiday, missing training sessions for the sake of wine, women and the occasional brawl. But the All-Stars gradually overcame their troubles, displaying those traits most prized by rugby league folk since the dawn of their game: grit, courage and dogged determination. Huge crowds gathered to watch the American novelty act as brutal game followed brutal game. But still, the results were impressive. A narrow defeat in New South Wales, a win over Newcastle, a thriller in Brisbane, and a crowd of 65,000 would witness an epic showdown versus Sydney at the Sydney Cricket Ground.
They were going into conflict that they used to do with helmets on and pads and protection. They were going into it naked, basically, and they were smashed up, and they were on their knees by the end.
Dimitro's crusading attempt to bring rugby league to the USA failed, but not through a lack of effort on his part, or on the part of his players, who adjusted to a game without armour, without helmets, in a strange land, and in the face of fearsome opponents. It tested these men in a way never seen since in the world of professional sport, but they responded to that challenge. And how? This is their unique story.